How do you translate a tee swing to a game swing? Obviously, one ball's sitting on a tee and the other ball's moving. You need to work on a step or two between tee and game, that being toss, whether it's front or angled toss, and maybe machine or BP, okay? But the whole difference is, when that ball's sitting there on the tee, you can get into your spot and feel it, and it feels really good, and you can take as long as you need to find it, and then you can swing from there. But when that ball's moving, you don't have all the time in the world to find that spot. So the tee is critical to help you learn what that spot is, what that spot feels like. Okay? Once you understand what that spot is, what it feels like, now you have to learn to flow into it in a game. And you have to be able to flow into it with control. So that's the purpose of the one-leg drills. Specifically, this drill, when we start with the leg up, we already are under control. We are one-legged under control. As compared to when we start with our foot down and raise this leg, we're out of control if we don't learn how to control it. So we learn first how this is the control feeling. And then we're going to load under control. We're going to go forward and pull back while I stay on my back leg. And as long as I stay on my back leg, I'm under control. If I go forward too much and fall to my leg, I'm out of control. So we start on the tee to learn what this feeling is. And then we got to learn to do it against a ball, a moving ball. So we're going to start with control. We're going to learn to load under control, which means we're going to hold this foot off the ground and then swing, okay? So you've got that feeling. Do that off toss. First do it off the tee, then do it off toss, then do it off overhand BP or off the machine. One thing that's really interesting in my lessons is most people get really good at this drill. And they can really barrel balls off my flips, and they can barrel balls pretty good off the machine. In fact, they'll barrel balls off the machine better off this drill than off their game stance initially. Okay? So once you get the feeling off the tee, and then you get the feeling of this one-legged control, unless you're going to start like this in a game, which, by the way, I'm okay with. Most of you aren't going to do it, but I'm okay with it. I've shown you the LSU softball girl before who does it. Okay? Most of you aren't going to do that, so now we got to learn to get this control from a more game-like setup. There's a couple things you can do. One, I like to stand a little bit open. Both feet are on the ground, but I'm sitting on my back leg. If I'm sitting on my back leg, I can lift this leg, and I already have control. If I'm on both legs, and I pick this leg up, I'm out of control. I have to work too hard to get control. So one technique is stand slightly open, both feet are on the ground, but your weight is back, such that you can, when you pick this leg up, you're under control. So now as soon as you pick it up, you can do your load move, and you're under control. Another way that's real effective, it's real easy for young kids to do, is have them start open like this and coil their way in. When they coil their way in, by that I mean they're not walking this foot in, they're coiling their rear leg, which brings this leg in. When they're doing that, guess what? They're one-legged and under control the entire time. So those are a couple techniques where you can figure out how to get control, and then you got to practice it. And generally speaking, you have to do all these things. You have to pick your leg up and get under control earlier than you're used to. Early and slow. I'm going to turn the camera around one quick moment.